I know you love me, but I also know you are here for the deets. Let's go. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4 who loves to come here and share with you fun and unique ways that you can homeschool, but also that you can take your kids and enjoy your time out in the real world, out of the house. So today, I want to share with you some homeschool family vacation tips. And I think I've got like 10 broad categories, so let's jump right in. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. We recently did what I like to call California extravaganza. So we went into California, we enjoyed some time in LA, we hit Disneyland, Disney's California Adventure, we traveled down to Legoland in Carlsbad, and then we continued on to the San Diego Zoo, spent a little time in San Diego, and then came home. I want to come here and I want to share with you because while I do love to share what we're doing, I get so many questions in real life and here that are just basically how. And I want to kind of break down 10 broad topics with you because these are things that we have kind of a little bit put systems in place. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out. It routinizes, makes a routine out of some of our family travels, vacation planning, things like that. And so I think it's really valuable if I come here and I share that with you in the context of our recent California vacation. That is what we are chatting about today. I have my list right here so I don't forget anything that I want to talk about. But it is 10 categories that we have systemized for success in our travels. Number 1, and these are, I think, in no particular order, so let's just start with packing. How do we pack? Well, number 1, I like to limit the number of bags. Now, we often fly Southwest, so I'm not usually too concerned about limiting like the size of bags because everybody gets 2 checked bags and a personal item and a carry-on if you need it, and that is too much. So yes, we could pack that much. We have never once packed that much. And I am talking extensive international travel with children, travel with babies. We have never packed that much. And I am going to let you know if it is, and I want you to think about it like this. This is how I always think about it. Think about where you're going, okay? If you, for example, we went to London, I knew we wanted to do carry-ons. 1, we were being charged for our bags. And 2, the more there was to keep up with in people, in children, in baggage, on and off trains, mass transit, airplanes, airports, we had a little bit of a tight turnaround. So the more that we had to kind of keep up with those bags, it was going to be a nightmare. So think about where you're going. How many hands do you have? Because let's not kid, 1 hand can go on a bag and 1 hand has to be on a kid. So whether you're holding hands, holding your kid's bag, any of those things, think about the number of bags really heavily before you jump into them. Also, I like to pack us in cubes. If you have to do anything opening up your suitcase anywhere, it is so much easier to manage and handle if everything is broken out into its own kind of inner packaging. I really like, and I will link the things that I'm talking about down below, but I really like compression cubes and vacuum seal bags. They've come in handy an absolute ton of times. I think I might have a picture of the princess dresses that we took with us because we did take 6 full-size princess dresses, the smallest size of which is now a 7/8, all the way up to the 12/14s. And so packing those to take with us, 1, literally is huge, but being able to shoop them down is gold. So if I have a picture, I'll try to remember to insert it, but I do have actually over on my sister channel, Suitcase Princess, an entire video on how to pack princess dresses, which not just princess dresses to Disney, but large dresses, large packaging, very, very, very experienced, many years of experience packing many dresses because they literally will choose to dress up every day. And I've got 2 girls, so it is a lot of dresses. Something else that I like to do when I do have everything segregated out into cubes is I like to organize by location. So for example, in this trip, we were changing hotel 3 times over the course of a week. So we didn't need everything all at once. I didn't need my Legoland shirt to be in my last bag or my first bag. I needed it in the middle. And so those are things that if you think about on the front end are going to be very helpful on the back side, because instead of having to have everything out all the time, we could use what we needed, go ahead and load that back up with our dirty clothes, and then move on to the next cube. So just planning that makes a lot of sense. Something else that we do take packing very seriously is packing our bags for the airplane. So think about what you only need the very first day. My kids take a baby, take their blanket, and things to do on the plane. Usually snacks and a water bottle. As far as flights go, we almost always fly Southwest whenever it is possible because we are earning points through our credit card usage. And that comes in amazing handy because we kind of already have those things paid for. I can't tell you the last time we physically paid for a Southwest flight. That doesn't always work. We like to travel internationally. I'm always scoping deals. I like to choose. Again, we have a system for this. So for Southwest, we are in Houston, so there are a lot of flight options for us and a lot of direct options for us. What we like to do is I will usually take what is the first direct flight of the day out, the last direct flight of the day back. Those also, in my experience, tend to be the cheapest. We search for days either leaving on Thursdays or leaving on Saturdays, because leaving on Fridays or Sundays has an entirely different price point. So those are the things that we like to do. Even as far as boarding the plane, my kids know they get on the plane, they go to the heart, because they're all the way back on the right-hand wall when you're facing the back of the plane is a Heart Southwest logo. We go, we sit right in front of that logo. Why do we do that? We will put one parent across or one parent directly in front so that everybody's handy. The girls sit next to each other. This works out really well. They'll alternate window, going there, going back. It is so easy to get into and out of the bathroom that is at the back of the plane if you are right there. Because what happens if you're in the middle of the plane, you see that the light goes off, you're like, oh, I need to go. Somebody else jumped in there. Oh, I need to go. It's also really easy because now my kids are a little older. They can take themselves and I don't have to stress about it because I'm right there. So that is what I recommend. Something else that has been an absolute game changer is we used to have TSA PreCheck, which covers children till 12. We did upgrade and go ahead and do global entry, which is amazing. Anything you can do to streamline your process through airports, especially with children, just do it. It's amazing. Hotels. What we look for in hotels, one, it's not always price, it's value. All of this comes down to value, okay? We want to get the most for what we want to spend. We don't necessarily want to go the cheapest route. So hotels for us, we are looking for location. We have a few brands that we like to choose. Hilton, Choice Hotels. We've kind of moved on from having the doors on the outside. I prefer to have them on the inside of the building, and we like to go for things that have included breakfast. It's just easier for us. We're up early, we want to get started, which I think takes me into my next point, but we're up early, we want to get started, and so therefore having that breakfast that starts usually 6:30 a.m., we can just be fed and on our way, ready to go. Why? Because we like to rope drop everything. If you do not know what rope drop is, it is basically getting to Disney before they open, so that when they are dropping the rope to let you in, you are ready to go, and maximizing that early time because people do not like to get up and get out. So we rope drop everything. I will rope drop the doctor. I'm there at 8 a.m. I want the first appointment of the day because I'm less likely to have to wait around if they aren't running late already at 8 a.m. So we want to get up and get going. We are waiting on things to open every single chance we get. Meals and food. I pack food. I'm a food packer. Anything. If you were in my car right now, there is food. If you go in my bag right now, there is a snack. Because we fly Southwest, I literally load up on food. I have a hard shell container. I've got Tupperwares that are dedicated to packing full of Pop-Tarts and protein bars and drink mixes and goldfish and whatever else it is I can get there. As far as Southwest goes, I usually, like when we used to go to Disney all the time, I would literally load a full suitcase, half diapers or pull-ups, and half snacks. And that even includes shelf-stable milks, because shelf-stable milks are an amazing things to take with you. That way your kid can have her, milk first thing in the morning before you even need to leave the room. It's so easy, it's so handy, and it doesn't have to be temperature regulated. Something else that I want to talk about when it comes to food, we have water backpacks, slings for water bottles, all kinds of things. What you need to remember, always carry water. Everybody always needs water. And two, something that has served us really well, especially when traveling, you need to eat or drink before you need to eat or drink. And this serves me really well, especially places that are hot, where you're walking a lot, things like that. At the first sign of questionable behavior, so whether somebody, and husband and I are guilty too, at the first sign of somebody getting a little snippy, somebody needing a little extra break, something like that, I will, and often I don't even say anything. I just open up a package and start handing out little snacks, okay? It's time for a snack. Eat before you need to. This always comes in handy for us, and I'm gonna talk about this again in a minute with Disney and our strategies at Disney, but eating before you need to ensures people kind of stay nicer. The Snickers commercial where it's like, you're not you without a Snickers. You aren't you when traveling without a snack. And again, this applies to adults, children, everybody alike. The first little wait a minute, that's out of the norm kind of behavior, food and snack and water, just do it every time. Okay, so I'm gonna go into a few of the tips of the location specific things that we did. So in LA, we went ahead and we knew that we'd have the bulk of the day. We flew into LA, first flight of the morning. So that means with the time difference, we are landing at 7 a.m. Yeah, in LA. So we're picking up our rental car, which one of the best things we ever purchased, a complete sidebar, and I do have it linked on my Amazon storefront, is a foldable car seat. It's amazing. It's called a MyFold. It folds down, and what it does is instead of lifting the kids up to the seatbelt, it positions the seatbelt down to them. So handy, so amazing. It folds up to the size of a wipes case, and you can throw it in a backpack. So you never have to should I or shouldn't I? Shouldn't I or shouldn't I? Yes, take it. Big on car seat safety, so definitely take it. So in relation to LA with my travel tips, we decided ahead of time the things that we knew we wanted to do. So we knew we wanted to do the Walk of Fame. We knew that we had some gift cards from Christmas that didn't actually have a location close to us that was gonna be close to what we wanted to go to. So we planned out some gift card usage. We knew we wanted to see the Hollywood sign, and we knew that on our arrival day, we wanted to get over to Disney in Anaheim early enough that we could enjoy downtown Disney because we didn't want to take any park time later to do that. So what we did ahead of time for Walk of Fame is I went ahead and I kind of Googled some of or searched on their, Walk of Fame has a website of their own, searched up some of the people that I thought would be relevant to my kids. So Tinkerbell, Minnie Mouse, Snow White, Mickey Mouse, Harrison Ford, because they know who that is. The cast of the Avengers, because we knew we wanted to go to the Chinese theater and just scope it all out because that's not something we had done before. And there's a wonderful mall right there. And from the mall, you can actually get great views of the Hollywood sign. And there was the ice cream store we needed to use the gift card for right in there. And just that little bit of planning on the front end made that fantastic and an incredibly efficient day. We did make one mistake there though. We went ahead and we turned into the first parking garage we saw, which was Madame Tussauds, and they charged $20 or $25 for parking when we could have literally, no exaggeration, pulled into the next driveway and paid $3. So just, that would have been so much more economic. Also, something else to watch out for, and this is really common in a lot of tourist areas, you need to be the stiff arm. Okay, so there's people oh, come take our tour. No. It honestly was almost an altercation one time because this man was come take our tour. And I was no. And he's why not? I was why? And he was you don't have to be rude. He got really rude and defensive. And I was you asked me. It was a whole thing. People get saucy, okay? And they especially don't like hearing back from a woman. I gotta be honest with that. So just stiff arm, okay? Make firm eye contact. No street vendor. No, thank you. And I'm going to argue in a lot of these situations, it can be easy to be bamboozled or swindled. So I just want to pause right here and tell you, in Paris, we went to Paris, we landed during a transportation strike, and so we knew that transportation would be hard to find. So we are walking through the airport, there is a man in a full like suit, and he's like, oh, this way to taxis. Like, okay, cool. So we go over there and we start walking out into a parking lot, and I was like, we walked right past a cop, walked right into a parking lot. I was like, this doesn't feel right. We're going to go back. Yeah, it turns out in order to get car service or taxi service, you actually have to go to the stand, and this would have been an unregulated, Lord knows how much we would have paid. Don't get taken advantage of. It is really easy to do. Research wherever you're going so that you can know what scams to be on the lookout for. Okay, Disney. So Disney. For Disney, something that I like to do, especially one, I love to always be in the know about Disney things. We're watching YouTube videos all the time. It's so fun. We just love Disney. We're a family that's built around Disney. We got engaged there. Both of my kids were there at like 4 months for their first trip. We've been annual pass holders. We do love Disney. So we are let our kids this time, because they're old enough now, watch the videos and help us plan. One of the things that my youngest one saw in a video was to line up at ticket booth number 19. It was behind, like blocked by a construction wall. We lined up at number 19 and we were in the park like the second people. So it pays off, okay? So do your research. Early entry rope drop. I've already explained what that is. We intentionally avoided the early entry afforded to the people who were staying on property because that was not us. I don't have that kind of money. And we rope dropped everything. So we swapped our park days around so that we avoided the early entry so that we could be some of the first people in the park instead of that 30-minute advantage to Disney hotel guests. We also went as far as parking goes, and we have done this before, not walking in, but done this before. Disney is a parking structure that is very large, but it's not close. I know because we walked it in the pandemic when they didn't have the trams running. It is not close. Disneyland, unlike Disney World, is completely rimmed with hotels, and they're can be really affordable. And so we stayed over, I will try to insert a map if I can remember, near the Toy Story parking lot. And so what we were able to do, and this included breakfast, and the hotel was amazing and gorgeous. I had like a separate sleeping bunk area and was under $200 a night. And it was amazing, a great pool, so cool. What we were able to do is basically walk into the Disney parking lot from our hotel, so we didn't have to pay for parking at Disney, and then clear security in the parking lot, get on a bus, get dropped off, and go straight in, and we didn't have to do security or anything. Again, it was amazing. So cool. It's amazing that you can do that. It was like less than a 10-minute walk. It was so cool and so handy. Something else that I would recommend, and this is a little bit of a shameless plug, is magic bands. You don't need them as much at Disneyland as you do at Disney World, but they're really handy, especially if you're scanning into the multi-pass lightning lanes, getting your pictures done where the cast members will scan your band. Magic bands, magic bands, magic bands. And plus we love them. They're just so cute. Security, I have already talked about that, but we do have a system in place that we do, and as we're walking up, we go ahead and get the kids ready, take your backpacks, flip it around, and start unzipping all the things, and then we will do ourselves. We send the kids through first, and then us, and then like, for example, they had a table where you could just stop and zip everything back up, and so you just have it ready. And we used to do the same thing when we had the stroller, and what I would do is I would take a reusable shopping bag and I would fill it up with whatever we're gonna leave in the bottom of the stroller, put it in the bottom of the stroller, so when we're going through security or getting on a bus, you just pulled out the one bag that was already loaded and you could pull the stroller, or they could just look through the bag instead of those poor people having to like dig all in the bottom of your stroller. So that's my tip for that. Multi-pass. Okay, so we did do multi-pass, which used to be Genie, and before that was Fast Pass, and it was free. We like it, we enjoy it. If you have interest, I can do a full video. But basically, our premise with the multi-pass is I booked the most desirable ride based on popularity, so like Indiana Jones. First, for 10 a.m. or after, because those first 2 hours, you get a lot of stuff done. There's a lot of videos on this. This is not new information. And then we started booking by the next most desirable ride, which tend to be the furthest out. You can book a new ride every 2 hours, and you can also book once you scan in. You can also, in the screen, refresh, 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 refresh to modify your times. Now, we were able to book a lightning lane to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, despite them all having been passed out. through the modification process, it came back available on the modify screen. So modify, modify, modify. If you have any more questions about this, let me know and I will do my best to answer them. But it was great use. We didn't get it for every day of our trip because it's wicked expensive. Disney is already wicked expensive. So that is a personal decision, all on you. We did not do any of the individual Lightning Lane rides because, well, we just don't find them as valuable. And we run them all at Disney World. And we did do single rider lines. So if your kids are old enough and they are comfortable enough, take advantage of single rider lines. What we did for Radiator Springs Racers is we lined up in single rider, all 4 of us. And the plan was that one adult would go first, the kids would go in the middle, and then one adult would go last. What happened frequently is that a couple of our family members got to go in the same car, in which case we sent the girls together. That way neither one of them would have to ride alone. So that was our plan. There were other families doing it, and so the mom and I were joking. We talked about if we saw each other later, we would keep an eye out for our kids, and it just is that kind of camaraderie. So that is how we did that. Something else that we like to do is mobile order. Now, mobile ordering, you order right through the app. It's so easy. We like to, well, I can talk about the spending in another video, but basically it's really easy. We like to eat off peak times. So because I'm eating breakfast at 6:30, I'm ready for lunch by like 10:30, which is good because it is not busy. And then everything kind of ships a little earlier, and then you plug in with other snacks and things through the day. But by mobile ordering, I can order while we're standing in line, waiting our turn. We can all look at the menu. It gives us something to do. I hit the button, like when we get to the restaurant, for example, we did Red Rose Tavern, went in, found a table, station everyone there. We are here, and then Dad and I will grab the food, bring it back. It's so easy. Mobile order. And I mean, I mobile ordered our Dole Whips. So, I mean, you can mobile order anything. Something else that we love to do is autograph books. And yes, we have a system for our autograph books. Both kids get an autograph book. We wait in line for the characters. We use click Sharpies because they are easy for the characters to use. We open our book to our next available page, the page that we would like signed. We clip the Sharpie in there, so when they go up to the character, they hand them their book. Character takes the Sharpie, signs the book, puts the Sharpie back in, folds it closed, hands it to myself or the handler, and then we take our cheese picture and we are rolling out. So we do have a system for our autograph books. Gonna switch gears. Now these all apply to both Disney and Disney's California Adventure. We love it, so fun. And yes, we were there all the way from the beginning to the end. After that was Legoland. So Legoland has incredibly different hours than Disneyland. Disneyland is like 8 a.m. to like midnight, and Legoland is like 10 to 6. Legoland hours, they are just so much more favorable to like not being completely exhausted. We did go ahead and scope out food ahead of time because from our last Legoland vacation, there just weren't a ton of options. And so with this time, we knew because of the hours, we didn't want to waste time eating breakfast or dinner there. Again, breakfast was at the hotel. But we did know that we wanted to do lunch, maybe a snack here or there. And we did carry in snacks because that is how I roll. But the food just didn't, it's not particularly special. What we did do one day is, or the first day, is that we went and had the all-you-can-eat like pizza pasta buffet. And I have to be honest with you, I have not done the exact dollar comparison, and maybe I will when I'm editing, but it was not a large difference beyond getting everybody like a slice of pizza at a food stand. So really balance that out and check those menus. We did the same thing with prioritizing what was important, which at Legoland was Dino Valleys. We rope dropped. We went into something that is very desirable, Ninjago, which got a very long line in Florida. And from there, we went over and did Dino Valley. Well, Dino Valley definitely has the longer lines now, so just prioritize what you want to do. And for example, in our experience, we did not do the Duplo train or Duplo Trek, like a photo safari ride, straight away because the line was like an hour long. Whereas when we went back either after the parade or in the afternoon, right before closing, it was like 20 minutes. So something else that we like to do is if there is a ride that is closed, we will walk past it. We will walk past it anyway, and this worked in our favor at Legoland because of the Dragon ride was closed. And as we're walking past, there were cast members. Disney lingo here, cast members standing out front. And then I noticed that there were other people walking up from the ride side, so from behind the fence, and talking to them. And I was like, you know what? I think it's about to open. And sure enough, we were some of the first people to get on. We were able to ride it like 3 or 4 times in a row without even getting off. So it really paid in our favor to pay attention. Something else that I think is really important to know, and we only did it one time. Emmett's Couch, the ride, it is like Avatar or Soarin', so Flights of Passage or Soarin'. It is just a very long experience because it is a longer wait. It is long to get queued up. It is long to get like everybody in their right seats. It is not a short ride, and it's just a lot of process. So time that well, because that can really climb. That wait time can really climb. All right, let's move over to the San Diego Zoo. So something that you really need to know is it is hilly. Of course, we used our Disney skills, we rope dropped, and they have a virtual queue for the pandas. So the system that we used there was using my exact same plan like I do for Disney. We rope dropped and got the virtual queue. The food was not great. So pack some food. We were there absolutely all day. We did it all, and I feel like it checked my box. Also, something that's really important to note at San Diego Zoo, pay attention to the restroom locations. We wound up having to backtrack to the same restroom because there's just not enough of them, in my absolute honest opinion. So summer hours are great. In the future, I would probably choose to go. So the summer hours are longer and they had nighttime activities. However, well, 1, it was hot, but 2, the animals are not as active because it's hot. So I would not make that decision. Again, in the past, we went in the spring and it was wonderful. So I wouldn't make that decision again. Now, here is a system that we have in place for us, and that is Souvenirs. And this is something that is a hard and fast rule. It applies because we kind of laid this foundation. It works for our entire family. Everybody knows how it goes. And what we do, we don't give a budget. We just reasonable. Can we fit it in the suitcase to go home kind of thing. But what we do is I need you to look at all your options before we make a decision. And so my kids did that. And this time they actually did a really, really smart thing. They collect Disney pins. They got a pin at the El Capitan Theater when we were downtown LA. And then later they got pins in the parks because that is a souvenir that they love and appreciate. We went to San Diego Zoo and their souvenir from there was patches because they wanted to get jean jackets to put their patches on, which I thought was such a cute idea. And we went to the downtown San Diego on our free day, and we were able to hit a Goodwill, and they had like 1 million jean jackets, all in perfect sizes and all in great brands, to be honest with you. And so they picked out their jackets, and that was a souvenir. And it was like, both of them together was less than $30. So it was amazing. And then the patches are, like $5 or whatever. At Legoland, they did get a Lego set, but we put a limit and an expectation. So both of them did one of the 3-in-1 sets, which I always think are so fun because you can rebuild and it's different every time. So we have a souvenir expectation, and all of this aligns with their collections. So it's really hard when kids go into the store and they see all the options and it's great and it's all razzle dazzle. And even as adults, it's hard for us. But if we can fall back on, well, let's scope it all out. Let's leave the store, make our decision maybe outside, make our decision later once we've seen it all, once that kind of rush of dopamine has gone away. And then if we can fall back on a collection, so you collect snow globes, you collect Disney pins, you want to collect patches, you enjoy Legos, like that's all perfectly reasonable because we've kind of laid that foundation ahead of time. And we will also discuss souvenirs ahead of time. What is something you want to be on the lookout for? For example, the jean jacket. Spending. Okay, so what is our system for spending? First of all, I'm always pricing vacations so that we can save the most amount of money possible because I like to do this stuff. So if I want to do this stuff, I need to save money. True story. The more money I save, the more I can do. So what is that? Just tuck it away. So I am always pricing vacations like, oh my gosh, we get a great deal. That's actually how this whole entire California trip came to be. Something else that we will do is we will pre-spend. We will pre-plan what we will spend. So we went in to our Disney app and we basically ordered lunch. We would order this, okay? For our family of 4, that would be about $60. Lunches will be about $60. Dinners will be about this much, this many snacks. We pre-ordered it through that mobile order function. You can price it all out, put in your cart, and then just clear your cart. And that told us how much money we needed to take with us to Disney. We then, and I've talked about this before, we go to Sam's Club. You can buy gift cards, and I hope I'm explaining this well. For example, $100 gift card, you can buy it, for example, for $90. So you spend $90 on it, it has a $100 spend value. So therefore you are already saving 10 bucks per 100 or 10% or whatever. Those are exaggerated numbers, not exact. But we will do that. And so we will buy those gift cards ahead of time, and then we will use the gift cards. And the gift cards are easy to use. We could load them right into our wallets. We could, you can't charge your Magic Band in Disneyland, but what I could do is copy paste from a file that I keep in my phone. So I do keep detailed files in my phone. And so that is how we figured out how much to spend at Disney. And then we just kind of, okay, so it's average theme park costs. It's probably gonna be that much at San Diego Zoo for lunch. It's probably gonna be that much at Legoland. And so that is how we planned our spending. Now, I know this video has been long. It's an absolute fire hose. We went through 10 different kind of systems that we have in place. Disneyland, what we did, my LA tips, flights, packing, all kinds of things. And I appreciate those who stuck with me. I hope that you found it very helpful. And I will have one more video coming up on our travels. It'll be the next video that you see about kind of our experience. So a little less fire hose of information and a little more our reflections. So I hope that you found it as helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Bye guys.